Good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me well and see me too. It's 11 o'clock, so we can start with our webinar. And I'm really happy to welcome you all to our German e-commerce webinar, Establishing Your Products and Brand Within the German E-commerce Market. My name is Leana Kamatens. I'm an export advisor at Enterprise Estonia and responsible for the German market. My role is to help you, the Estonian companies, to enter the German market, provide you with export advice and contacts and relevant information. And that is the reason why we make such webinars like today. So today I'm your moderator, and I will guide you through our program. Some words about that, what we want to talk with you about. Our focus today is on the marketplaces, as said before. You know, we have our webinar consists of two parts. Today we focus on the marketplaces themselves, how to choose the right marketplace, what you have to consider, what are the criteria, so how do you find the right place where you can sell your products. This is the topic today, and next week then we speak about online marketing, how to become visible, how to sell the products effectively on these marketplaces, because of course it's not enough to put up your products on the places, but you have to reach your customers and to draw their attention to your products. Why we have chosen this topic at all? Well, e-commerce is booming in Estonia, as well as in Germany, as well as in all over the world. And good news is that you don't have to have any concerns about a downturn. Corona pandemic has accelerated this development even more significantly. And these marketplaces play an important role in the German e-commerce landscape. You know, there are more than 200 marketplaces in the DACH region, and sales on marketplaces make up about 40% of online trade today. Of course, it's a lot, it's Amazon world. Amazon is the biggest player of these marketplaces, but the other marketplaces play an important role too. And they have significant growth rates. They have interesting audience, a specific audience more often. But you can use these marketplaces. They offer you range, they offer you traffic, they offer potential for new customers. So it's time to find out how you can benefit from this development in the German market and in the DACH region. So I'm very happy to introduce you our two speakers today. There are two of them. At first, our German e-commerce expert, Mareike Thomas. Herzlich willkommen, Frau Thomas, nach Berlin. Schön, dass Sie da sind. And then we have also a best practice case from Estonia. Warm welcome to Liis Kalvik, Head of Export of LOOV Organic. I'm very happy to have you here too. I'm very happy that you are ready to share your experience in the German market, your interesting insights. Thanks a lot to both of you in advance. And last but not least, some technical remarks. We are recording this webinar, so you have the possibility to look at it later on too, if you miss some details or just want to see it once more. And I'm sure you have very many questions to our experts. So you have the chance to, of course, to ask these questions. You can use the chat or Q&A we will have later on time to talk about your questions too, to answer them. It will be after the both presentations, but you can put them already now into the chat so you don't forget about them. As you see, we have about 2 hours for this marketplace topic today, and I'm very happy. I hope you will get interesting insights, interesting content from today for your business. Please use the chance, be active. We want to have it interactive as possible, and share your experience. Feel free to do it. Also, we are happy about that. I wish you an interesting webinar today, and hand over to Marijke Thomas. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, and thank you for the introduction. I will start sharing my screen. I hope you can hear me well. I just see that my camera is doing a very weird light. Sorry for that, but I think we can still manage. So let's see. You should see right now the PowerPoint presentation, yes. And yes, I'm just changing into the presenter mode, and now we switch. So now you should see the nice slide, correct?
Yes, yes. Everything is working well.
Okay, perfect. So let's start. As already announced, we will talk about multi-channel today, and we will talk about e-commerce and focusing on Germany. Just a few words on who am I? As said, my name is Marijke Thomas. I'm the founder of LOOV and I'm working also closely together as a consultant within e-com consulting. What is it that I'm good at, or that what I believe I'm good at, is e-commerce. I'm an e-commerce expert focusing on marketplaces. I have worked in the past also for Amazon, so maybe I'm a little bit biased for Amazon, but however, the world is not just Amazon. There's so much more that we can do as a brand, and that we also can do on the e-commerce marketplace side. I'm focusing on direct brands. So what is it that I am, if I'm owning my own brand, what kind of benefits do I have going into marketplaces, going into e-commerce, especially right now, because this is the perfect timing. I will tell you a little bit on later as well on, okay, how are things changing? What great opportunities do we have right now? And there's not just on existing brands. Also, right now is the time where founding a new brand or founding a new direct brand is there, because we're going away from the old image of, hey, there are the big players, because the big players are changing, and right now is the time to start it. So with my company LOOV, which is an agency, we are consulting direct brands on how to build marketplaces strategies and how to push that on. So I just left you my contact here. You can also link the profile, but I would say we should rather focus now on the content, because what is it that I brought you today? There are various areas. On the one side, on the left-hand side, you can already see, okay, what are the different topics? So as announced earlier, we want to talk about different marketplaces, which are there, and most importantly, which are the ones that I should use as a brand. All marketplaces have different target groups, they have different requirements, and they have different, I don't know what, but all of them also have topics which are all the same. So it doesn't matter if you choose one marketplace, if you choose marketplace A or B, there are some basic requirements that we need to cover to ensure that we are a good seller, that we are a good direct brand on those marketplaces. And going from top to like right-hand side, product data. Yes, we need to bring product data somehow there. We can transfer it also if you, let's go to offline sales. Let's say you have a shop somewhere in Tallinn, for example. We need to have right products and we need to display them great so that people understand what is it that I'm buying. Am I buying a sock? Am I buying cosmetics? Am I buying furniture? I don't know what. Next to that, we also need to talk about warehouse, shipment, and returns, which is all in this area of logistics. So how do I get my products from where they are produced to the marketplace, to the customer? How quick can I do that? How smart can I do that? Customer support will be also a topic. We don't go too much into detail because we can talk hours about that, but we need to make sure our customer is out there. And even though there is a marketplace in between, we have the great opportunity as a brand to really talk to our customers, understand our customers, get insights from our customers. If the customer tells us like, hey, your underwear is amazing, but I would love to have it also in a different color. This is so much easier right now than in the past where we did not really hear our customer. So we have the direct connection. Branding and marketing, as already said earlier, will be the second part of the webinar, which is happening next week, where we also talk about, yes, it's great if we choose for one marketplace. And yes, it's great if we bring our products there. But to be honest, it's not just us. It's not just our products. And even if our product is the greatest product in the world, let's go like this, or in the universe, we still have to make sure that the marketplace understands that. And there are various tools on how can we position our brand there, how can we build visibility, how can we get this traffic to our page, to our product detail page. But this is a very huge topic, so I'm looking forward to talk about this one next week, and I hope to see you all there. Just some, let's say, nice things to know. Marketplace in Germany and all over the world, just as I said earlier, it is the place right now. Yes, we have COVID-19. Yes, stores are closed and things are changing. And we all know that some of the companies also have disadvantages from that. But however, especially for Germany, or those are the numbers from Germany, marketplace revenue stands for 40 to 60% of all e-commerce sales. So that means nowadays it's super easy to get there because we are all digital. All our customers are ready right now to be digital and to purchase digital. And yes, things will change again. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we get stores open again, we can walk through the city and we do some discovery shopping, but it will not go back to the old world. People still understand, why is it that great to shop online? Why is it such a convenient thing that my skincare is delivered in a 4 weeks cycle, and that's perfect. Also, marketplace as well as social commerce, and we're not diving deep in social commerce here because that would be another 10 hours we could talk about, are also the fastest growing channels in e-commerce. So yes, there's Shopify, there are, I don't know how many things you can do to sell your products online, but marketplaces and social commerce are the right boosters at the moment. And I also want to alert you here, it's not about should I do this or that. No, it's about doing like the combination of all. So we should have a brand, we should sell them on our own store, get traffic on our web store, be presentive at marketplaces, use the traffic which is there, plus also generate traffic from the social world that we have, get customers to our web store, to our marketplace offerings to also boost the story there. Direct brands itself are also growing. So let's take an example of, I don't know, let's take a watch. Everybody of us is wearing a watch probably. Back in the days, we all knew they are brands and they dominate the market. And there will probably also, some of them will stay, but we can see, and also from a great brands from the Nordic, that this direct brand, so a brand which has not existed before, and they don't have a big portfolio, but they bring a brand for watches, for example, they go crazy because it's not about who are the big players that we know. It's more about who is dynamic, who understands the marketplace's setup and can boost their product to page 1, position 1. And if people can see you, they come to your product page, they understand, okay, what is it that you're selling there? And then we have to tell them, okay, it's great that you purchased this watch and not the watch of somebody else. So there are great chances out there. Moving over from there to the next slide, it's also the development. That's a slide from Ecom Consulting from the marketplace study 2020. And you can see here, and we will dive deeper into this in a second, there are loads of marketplaces and you can divide them in different areas. So there are marketplaces which are in B2C, so from the business to the direct customer. There are marketplaces which focus more on B2B, where we want to reach the business side behind it. There's also C2C, there's a lot of things happening. And what you see right now on the slide It's the amount of marketplaces in the different clusters before 2015. And if I go to the next slide, you see how that's changed. So if you see left, right, left, right. So 2020 in the DACH region, so Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, it just got crazy. There are loads of marketplaces. There's a lot of potential, of course, because you have, on the one side, we have those big players, and that's not everybody knows that. Yes, there is an Amazon. Yes, there is a Zalando, and yes, there are also others that we all know. But there are also other marketplaces growing. Let's say something like real.de, Otto. Nobody heard about that or assumed it to be big, and they do great things. How many of them will remain? Nobody knows. How are they getting together? I mean, it's a synergy in the market as well. But the good thing is that we need to understand which of them are relevant for us, which are relevant of them for my brand. And this is what we will go in detail. I got the great feedback from a brand which is called Friends. I hope you're in the webinar right now as well. And when going over different marketplaces, when going over different scenarios, rather than just taking an example which I made of, I heard that Friends is volunteering, so that they can always refer to your brand, and I will give some storyline on how we can do things when, for example, selling men's or women's underwear. I saw that you're doing sustainable products made of cotton, etc. So please feel free to share some more information later. So, but just when I'm talking later about underwear or socks, for example, that you know that I'm referring to this brand. But it's just one example, and you can duplicate it across all different categories and different products, etc. So let's go in. As I said, we have different success factors which are a go or no-go decision. So all these criteria that I said earlier, we need to make sure that we get them covered, because the best marketplace will not help us if we don't have our basics ready. And this is very important. I don't want to overstress it, because those are things which are manageable. This is no rocket science, and I'm very sure that all of you will handle this, because, and that's the good thing, you're not the first ones thinking about those topics, and you're not the first ones trying to find a solution for that. So the good thing is, for all these areas that are in the circle, there are service providers, there are tools, there are I don't know what things that are helping you to cover that. The right thing is only, or the important thing is only, to make sure that we think about them and that we find a solution which is suitable for my product, for my brand, and for my location, and etc. The requirements will also differ per marketplace. So, for example, let's take an example on product pictures, for example. There are some marketplaces like Amazon which say, hey, your product needs to be just the product. It just needs to be like the sock, the sock for a man on a white background, nothing else. If I go back over to Zalando, for example, or to About You, they said, like, hey, bring me a great product picture where I see your product on a model, where I can see how it's used. And this is also one of the requirements where we need to see, okay, how I can serve the marketplace to make sure that I bring them the right information, so that the marketplace is presenting all the products, our socks, but also socks from the competitors, in a style guide which is suiting the marketplace. And there are different challenges. So on different product categories, of course. So let's say if I have a sock, I have different challenges than if I'm selling a cosmetic, if I'm selling food. So talking about things like, okay, how is it packed? How easy is it on returns? What happens if the customer is opening my product packaging? Is it destroyed? Can they reship it? Is there maybe a date of how long I can use it, like a valid date, etc. And I will bring you, or I want to bring you there, that you understand what are the questions that I need to ask myself, and how can I go on to answer them. So before going into detail on the different areas, let's have a quick look on the marketplaces. If you remember some slides ago, we saw how many marketplaces are there on B2B, on B2C, and D2C is like the big thing, which is the direct brand to customer. Direct brand to customer means like you are having a brand like Friends, for example, which are specialized on on underwear or on socks, for example. Let's stay with this one. And they are selling directly to the customer. So directly reaching Mr. Peter, who is on Amazon, who is on Zalando or wherever. And this is the great thing, because we can see, okay, where are our customers? And we will go in this in a second. So those marketplaces, like I said, they're not just split into B2B, B2C, like how do they segment, but they also focus on their products or on the product selection that they're offering. And I brought you a few here just as examples. So we have here, let's take Zalando About You. Those are on fashion, those are about accessories. Zalando is more about like, I want to buy a trouser, so I go to Zalando. About You is more about, I want to discover fashion, I want to see styles, and I want to repeat the styles that somebody else is maybe also buying or presenting. Then we have everything stores like Amazon, like Real, which is changing to Kaufland.de in April, or also eBay. And the good thing about everything stores is, as it said, everything is there. It's the one place you go to because you need to buy something. So it's not about, oh, I need to buy a trouser, should I go to Zalando? No, it's about, hey, I need something. Of course, I go to Amazon, for example. Otto, as I said earlier, it's one of the very quickly growing marketplaces that we have in Germany. There is also a special limitation on Otto. We talk about it on the slides later, because Otto, for example, says, hey, you need to have a German company. Or we have other companies that say, okay, you need to have German customer support. But although that you're not in Germany, that's not a problem, because we will find solutions to make sure that you can present your products proudly and greatly to German customers and also meeting the requirements of the marketplaces. Yes, there's also, for example, Douglas, which is like the biggest cosmetics marketplace in Europe. Great for those products. Wayfair, great for furniture. And the thing that I want to say, it's not about choosing, okay, if I sell cosmetics, I can only go to Douglas. No, it's about, okay, if I sell cosmetics, then Douglas is a great option. I should combine it with Amazon, for example, and maybe Otto, Otto, but going with Real is another option. So it's finding the great mix based on your product. If we go on further, because with product it doesn't stop, it also stops, and it also goes hand in hand with your target group. So we need to understand who is my target group and where can I find them. So if we take the brand of Friends, when I was going through the website, I said, okay, hey, this is great product on underwear, which seems for me like a good quality, and they go strongly in the sustainability section. Correct me if I summarize that wrongly. So we need to think about, okay, who is this target group? Are we talking about young teenagers? Are we talking about young entrepreneurs? Is it like, I don't know what. And this question is the first one that we need to answer. Who is the person who should buy my product? And maybe if we take the sustainable underwear, it's not only people being sustainable, responsible, or aware that buy the underwear, but we could also help people who need an underwear just because everybody needs that. And then we can tell them, like, by the way, here's a great product for you. And you could also do something great because it's sustainable. So it's not just who are the direct target group, but who is also the broader target group I could convert into my customer. So if we go on the slides, we have here, for example, Zalando. Zalando, as I said, is fashion focused. About You, yes, it's also fashion, but it's a complete different target group, which is more on the young and the discoverable digital people who are discovering fashion. So it's not, hey, I need a trouser, I need a pair of socks. No, it's about, hey, I want to have a nice outfit for, I don't know, Thursday, because I have a night out with friends, hopefully somewhere soon again. So you would scroll through the pages, you see styles, etc. And it does not mean that a pair of underwear is not discoverable. It is. Maybe somebody is searching for the outfit and then it sees, hey, great, this pair of underwear suits perfectly. I take this as well. So it's also about telling a different story on the different marketplaces. You will hear, when you go into the marketplace topic, you will hear about different styles, and you will hear very often closed and open marketplaces. Don't get confused with this one, because even if it's a closed marketplace, it doesn't mean that you're not allowed to sell there. It only means that the marketplace needs to give you allowance to place your product there. You can easily compare it to a club. There are some clubs where everybody can go to. The doors open, come there, bring your products, play against play with the guideline or with the house rule. And this is, for example, Amazon, eBay. And there are clubs, or let's call it houses, where there's maybe a bouncer in front of the door, and the bouncer is checking you like, hey, what are you bringing to us here? And there's, for example, Zalando, and you say like, hey, I have this brand which is called Friends, and I have those products, and this is my USP. And then Zalando decides, so the bouncer at the door decides, do I open the door for you? Please come in, or I'm not. And this is a storyline which I think is also very nice, because marketplaces are also restricting their product portfolio, and is also helping not just to like have more control about it, but it's also helping you to push things together. So it both has great advantages, and don't feel pressured, or don't feel like, oh, I'm too small, maybe, or maybe I'm not good enough. Cut that. Everybody can apply. And as I said earlier, there are house rules, and they're playing against their rules, and this is important. So they will tell you, okay, does it make sense or not? And this is helping you also in the process of making the criteria of which marketplaces is good for me and where can I place my products. So if I go there for finding the right marketplaces, if we summarize the questions that we need to ask ourselves is, okay, who is the target group I want to reach? Who are my customers? Those customers, where are they? On which marketplaces can I find them? And on those marketplaces, how's the situation? So let's take Friends as an example. If we have underwear and we go to Amazon, for example, yes, we are not the first ones. And this will be the case on a lot of marketplaces. But it's important to see, okay, how are my competitors? What are they doing already? So I always take the example of the water bottle, something like this. Yes, there are, I don't know how many thousands of water bottle producers there. And yes, maybe it's not as easy to bring the next water bottle to a marketplace like Amazon. But on the fashion side, on men's underwear, for example, where you also have the USP of being sustainable, of course, you still have the opportunity there. Yes, there are competitors. Yes, they also do maybe a good business, but it's not as strong yet as the water bottle example. How much potential does it offer? Yes, that's important. Every marketplaces, or always when entering a new marketplace, it's work, and work costs you time, it costs you resources, etc. So please be also aware, okay, how much can I expect from a marketplace? There are values behind every marketplace. It's a GMV, so the gross merchant value. So how much products and potential is on a marketplace. As bigger the GMV, of course, as better, but as bigger the GMV, also as higher is the competition. So Amazon has a strong or a high GMV, but there's a lot going on. Otto has rather small GMV at the moment, but you can still have the early bird opportunities. And last question, not least, what are the marketplace criteria? Can I fulfill them? Can I or can I not? And if I'm not, okay, then it's fine. But then there are other marketplaces which can help us. So if we take the example of the sustainable underwear from Friends, well, who's our target group? What I said earlier, people who are sustainable, who wants to go into underwear, but maybe also people who are searching for the product that I can lead in the direction that sustainability is a great add-on, and that's the reason why you should buy this pair of underwear. Marketplaces where we could find them. In this case, I would go with Zalando, About You, because that's where fashion goes. Amazon, definitely, because that's where the big potential is, where of course there are also other players, but where you can still position yourself great when doing things good. And last but not least, Otto, because as I said, it's lifestyle, it's fashion, it's incredibly growing, there's high potential. And real.de, because it's also an everything store, it's smaller GMV, smaller potential, but it's growing. And the barrier of entering this marketplace is not as high as, for example, on Zalando. So if you get your basics fixed, then you could easily also play with real.de. How saturated the marketplace already? Yes, there are numbers. For example, there are marketplaces where you see a lot, like Amazon. You have, I don't know how many tools like Analyze, like Helium 10, where you can easily go down really on ASIN level, on category level. What are the keywords people playing? You see the purchase power. It's crazy. But there are also other marketplaces where you do not have this granularity of data. So some are more data-driven, use this data. Some are less data-driven or less data transparent. There you really need to go and try, of course. In the end, it always happens when playing. So you need to go in the match, go on the ground of the marketplace, and then you see how it's really working. So go from the top, product data. As I said, there are different style guides, and you can find some of the style guides already by downloading it without being part of the game yet. But the easiest to do is check your competition. Check what are other players doing that are selling men's underwear. How do they have their products styled? So for example, if you go on Amazon, as I said, front picture always needs to be on a white background. If I go to Zalando, I need to have model pictures, etc. So, and I need to prepare them. And very important, somewhere I need to get the data from where I have them to the marketplace. And we could either go on the manual work per marketplace, like really going into Seller Central, going into Zalando Direct or Set Direct, and updating the, okay, this is my EIN, this is my title, this is my product pictures. And yes, maybe if you just have one product, it's still doable, but I would not recommend it to you because a centralized system is very important. We're talking about IT now. We're talking about programs that are there, and you will see a few of them as suggestions on the next slides. And why I want to focus on this one already now, it doesn't matter if your business is at day 1 or day 100. Always think in scalable solutions. How can I run the system with also having 10 the times of the products? How can I also get the system running when selling 100, 1,000, or maybe 500,000 products a day, a month, a year? And this is very important. So really think, and please always remember the sentence from me, buying your processes, building up scalable solutions. Pricing is, of course, also an important topic. Let's take the pair of underwear. I think it was around, let's say, 20 euro. The customer is, of course, also looking left and right. So play a fair game. Don't say, okay, on marketplace A, I get it to you, you can buy it for 20 euro. But if you go to marketplace B, you need to pay 30 euro. Nobody does it. People see that. And most importantly, marketplaces see that as well. So if I take Amazon as an example, they are checking, is the product maybe somewhere cheaper? And if the Amazon algorithm sees that the product is somewhere extremely cheaper, so the pair of underwear is 20 euro on Amazon, but 10 euro on Otto, for example, then Amazon says like, no, I'm not playing this game with you. So I would take away your buy box. It's not as easy anymore for the customer to purchase this product because marketplaces, and Amazon is the strongest in this one, customer first. So they're very, very customer centric. And that also means if the customer has a better customer experience at Otto because it's cheaper there, then they tell the customer, hey, you should look left and right because this is not fair. And this is not helping us as a seller. So when building your pricing, be aware that pricing should be similar across marketplaces in the vertical. And please be also aware of, okay, how do I want to price my products? Am I the only one offering the product, or do I have resellers? And for those who are in direct brands, it's easier. Assuming you're like an old known big brand, which exists for I don't know how many 50 years already, then you have history. You have people selling the product on your behalf, offline, online. And then it's way more difficult to like move from this old version, from this history to the new one. Are my resellers already on Amazon and now I have direct competition? Well, that's hard. That's a lot of more work. So if you have the experience or the advantage, it's called like this, of having your brand, you are owning the brand, then you can also build a strategy. Where do I want to sell it? On which price? And what's my storyline? And this seller transparency is very, very important to make sure that this, because this is branding as well. What is the product? What is your brand standing for? And this storyline starts with the product data and it ends with how do I talk to my customer? Is it a first name? Is the title, etc. And this, like what I said earlier here, like the centralized system. If we see on the left-hand side, we have the brand. We have Friends, and Friends has products. And we want to bring this product to the marketplace. How can we do this? First of all, we need to make a distinguishment between direct and indirect. So direct means friends goes directly to Amazon, directly to Otto, directly to Zalando, and sells in their own name. So friends would have an account at Amazon, at Zalando, and so on. That means that the brand is also the seller. So the customer is directly purchasing from the brand. Sometimes it's not the best way to do it. It could be different reasons, and you see on that one now. If I am the brand and bringing it directly to the market, I need to make sure that I get my basics fixed. So I need to make sure that my product data is somehow transferred from my somewhere where I have it saved to the marketplace, into the channels of the marketplace. What are their integrators? And there are things like a middleware. You will see some examples which are communicating between your data systems and the marketplace systems. Don't get stressed by these different terms. It's no rocket science. And as I said, there are different service providers. There are different service providers per category, per product portfolio, and you need to find just the right one for yourself. Logistics. We need to make sure that our warehouse is somewhere, that we ship based on the order. We need to give support. We need to give accounting. When I'm directly on the marketplace, I need to take care of those things and also others. And that's when marketplace service providers come in the game, because they say like, hey, of course, it's a lot of work, but there are service providers who take the work from you. And as everywhere in life, if somebody takes work from you, there is a value behind it. Either it's money or it's a commission, and there are different areas. The good thing is, if you take a service provider on board, they know the game. They know, okay, what do I need from you to get it there? What do I need to get from you as a brand to bring it to the marketplace? And they have centralized systems. So they have a middleware, they have their logistics, they also have fulfillment side partly, they do support, they do accounting, so everything for you. And the storyline on a marketplace provider is very often the following. Hey, you have your products and you're very good in your products. Make sure that you get more products, make sure that you optimize them on behalf of the customer. But maybe you say, I don't have the resource right now because maybe it's knowledge lacking, maybe it's people lacking, headcount, maybe it's, I don't know what. And sometimes it's super helpful to start with a marketplace service provider because they bring you to the step quicker. But as I said, it's expensive, or it's more expensive than doing it directly. And here you need to find the right solution also for yourself. Like, okay, what is better for me? Do I have time to start with Amazon, Zalando, Otto, eBay, and so on? Or do I want to have a quick result, therefore being directly on the market, but having less margin on my product? Because if I sell the product, every time I'm selling something, the marketplace service provider wants to get part of the piece. So they have a commission behind it. So with some examples here on this middleware, what I said earlier. So as a brand, bring it to the market. There are, for example, Plenty Markets, JTL. They are expertized products, software on this theme. So let's take Plenty Markets, for example. It's a cool tool if you don't have a too big product portfolio. So let's say you have, I don't know, 1,000 plus different products and they're changing with every season, then maybe Plenty Markets is not the best one, and there are other ones. But if you say, okay, I have a mid-sized product portfolio, maybe it's even a portfolio which remains. It's not changing every season because we have like a fashion change, like season style change. But for example, we have, let's stay with Friends. I mean, perfect. Underwear remains the same. Probably the product portfolio gets bigger by time, but that's okay. We're not changing too much. And Plenty Markets as well as JTL, they do good things because they are the product. You bring your data in this product, and they know how to feed it from there to marketplaces. So how can I feed it to Amazon? How can I feed it to Zalando? How can I feed it to A, B, C, D? And what they also do, and both of them are very good. So they do your stock management. How many products do I have? Where do I offer my product right now? If I sell one pair of trousers or one pair of socks at Zalando, I need to make sure that this product is not anymore available for a customer at Otto or at Amazon, because we want to make sure that every time when we sell something, we literally really have the product. But also into things like, I need to write an invoice and I need to upload my invoice on the marketplace. How can I do that? So, and those middlewares, they are very, or those, it's also an ERP system, they have a lot of functionality and giving you like a centralized option. And using this one, of course, they also have a commission fee behind it because they need to somehow purchase or sell the products or the service that they offer, but it's less expensive because you have more work on your side. So you need to ask yourself the question, do I have time, resources, etc., to get the work done myself? Great, because then I have a higher margin. What is the right tool? Or do I not have the resources available right now? Then go with a service provider. And I mentioned here a few of them, like Channel Advisor, Hey Connect from Figure, Brixforce, On Quality, Lango, Channel Pilot, and I could put more on them, but these are the ones where I know, okay, they do a good job. And I can give you, with a good word, the impression you should contact them. What is really important, and you will see it on a later slide as well, all of them do different things. So for example, Channel Advisor, it's like, what do I need? Do I want to fly first class or do I fly economy or business maybe? And each of those different things have different advantages. Some is maybe cheaper, but I get less service. The other one is maybe more expensive, but I have a full service, everything is solved situation. So it's very important to understand, okay, what are those providers offering and are they the right service for me? Warehousing and shipment, as I said earlier, stock management across marketplaces is important. Not just where do I have the stock, but how do I plan my stock? So let's say, and I take small numbers not to visualize it. Let's say I have 10 pair of socks and I want to offer this 10 pair of socks simultaneously at multiple marketplaces. But I need to make sure that when the 10th is sold, that it's stopped. But I don't want to reserve it. I don't want to say, okay, I reserved this stock of 10 pairs of socks for Amazon, because then it would not be available to anybody else. So, and this is very helpful if you take if you have like an ERP system behind it, like Plenty Markets or JTL, because they do things like this for you. If you do it manually on the marketplace, it's not possible anymore because those marketplaces need to communicate under each other. So you need to have a system below it, which knows your stock and which communicates with the marketplaces. And as I said, that's no rocket science. You just need to find the right thing for you. Dedicated stock and centralized stock management, exactly what I just said. Do you want to reserve part of your stock for a marketplace, or do you offer it everywhere at the same time? And if there's one product sold at marketplace A, that means the complete stock is reduced by 1, and all the marketplaces know that. Shipment, of course, is also important. If the product is sold somewhere, and it doesn't matter where, you need to make sure that it's also shipped in time based on the KPIs of the marketplace. And this is also very important. Can we offer this service from Estonia? Can we offer the service from Tallinn to Munich, for example? I don't know. And how expensive is that? So you need to make sure, what can I do? And maybe you say, okay, I have the perfect logistic partner and they ship my stuff within a day. Well, that's good. Then this is a solution. If you say, no, I don't have it because it's too expensive, it takes too long, then we need to find other solutions. And one solution is always store your products close to your customer. And if we're talking right now about German customers, well, that's amazing. Then bring your product to this country. I want to open like one flag here. If you store a product in a country, and this is very important, this is not a marketplace rule, it's a general legal rule. As soon as you have one product in this country stored, you need to get a German tax number. So you are tax relevant then, and you need to make sure that you get this covered. Profitability, I should have brought this already at slide 1 because it's always important. Yes, there are thousands of solutions. There are thousands of tools, of software, of service providers, but everybody wants to have money, of course. And every time when you sell something, all the hands are raising because that, you sold something. Please get me a little part, 1%, 10%, I don't know what. So always when building the customer journey, build the journey from I have a product, I sell it there. What steps do you have on your journey? And which steps on this journey cost you a specific amount per order, variable cost as well. And this is very important because if we talk here about scalable solutions again, as more as I sell, of course, that is great because this is helping my conversion, or like this is a good conversion. It's helping my ranking. It's helping building my brand and so on. But nobody is happy when we scale, when we sell more, but we don't earn anything with the per sell. So this is super, super important. Please take your sheets, take your maths, and calculate through the different steps. And this is like super top level right now. I will give you also some potential to-dos on the way at the last slides. So if we talk broadly about this marketplace success factor of warehousing, shipments, and returns, this is a very broad storyline. So we have somewhere our products produced, wherever that is, we receive them, we sort them, we shelf them. So they are somewhere in a warehouse where they are ready to be sold. As soon as I sold the product now, we have different things that we need to do. Somebody needs to pick them, prepare them for packing, bring them to the post office or wherever to ship them to the customer, and then they're on the way out. But, and this is important, this is not where the story stops, because all of that, not just where you see this yellow quarter right now, all of this also means that we have returns. What if the customer receives the socks and said like, I don't like the color because I wanted to have, instead of blue, I wanted to have light blue. Instead of this cosmetic, I wanted to have another one. I don't like the smell. I mean, you all know the story. There are returns, and we need to make sure that we get this one also solved. And sending returns for the customer, nobody likes it. We want to receive things, we like them, we keep them. But if we do not like them, for whatever reason, it should be massively easy to return it, because nobody will purchase again if they had a bad experience. So always keep the customer in your mind. Always make sure that the customer is first and that you act on behalf of the customer. If the customer is happy, they will come back. If they come back, they bring you money again. If they are happy, they tell their friends, they tell their neighbors, they tell their spouses and whoever, and this brings more and more customers. So don't underestimate the importance of a happy customer. On this part, also here, work smart and profitable. So here we have two different things. As I said, do it yourself or let somebody else do this. And in this decision on, okay, can I do it myself or should I let somebody else do that? You really need to think about, okay, what is my expertise? What is it that I'm really, really good at? And on these things, it's where we focus on. Yes, we all have things that we want to grow in, that we want to develop in. And you need to also understand parts of the game, because that's important to talk with the service provider at the right level. But nobody of us wants to be maybe the next logistic manager at, I don't know which company. We just need to make sure that things are running and that our time is smartly used. Because even if we all self-employed, if we all want to push our brand, the day only has 24 hours. And I hope that everybody still sleeps a bit and that you have also free time. So make sure that you work time efficient and focus on your expertise. And where it's not your expertise, keep the right ones on. Build scalable solutions, as I said earlier, and onboard fulfillment partners based on your needs. From the ones that you saw earlier, I picked a few of them which also do fulfillment. So they offer you the option of like, hey, get me your products. I store them for you in Germany, for example. And then when they are sold, I will take care of the shipment, of the return, of the checking of returns, what's the quality, and so on. Very important, you need to clarify the service that the partner is offering versus the requirements they have. So let's say, if we have a pair of, let's take the socks again. Do we want to ship them in a package? Do we want to ship them in pallets? What numbers of products are we talking about? How are they packed? How are they moved from A to B? How often is the cycle of shipping, and so on? So don't be afraid of asking questions. You need to understand for yourself, okay, what is it that I want to get solved? What is my problem where I need to help on from somebody? And then be open, talk to a service provider, pick up the phone, write them an email, get them on Zoom or on whatever to understand, okay, what is the service that you're offering and how can you help me solving my issue? How can you help me solving my challenge? And there are no stupid questions, really. Those partners, it's their job. They want to help you with fulfillment and they want to sell you something. So you need to be careful of like, hey, do they sell me the thing that I need or do they oversell me something? And as I said earlier, always think on first class business and economy. What is the right thing that I need right now? Therefore, excuse me, on those fulfillment partners, you also have advantages and disadvantages. So as I said, if you would take a fulfillment partner on, just some of them, for example, yes, they have the advantage of, because they know how it works. They are professional and they have the proven processes. It's the best practice. They do that. That's their expertise. So it's easy, of course, because they know how to run the business, and you jump on a running business. That's great, because that costs you also money, because you don't need to make mistakes that somebody else did already. Scalability, super important. They have the opportunity of going big with you. It doesn't matter if you sell one order a day or if you have thousands of orders a day, because they have those running systems. Reduce cost by efficiency. Of course, if somebody knows how to run the business, it's much more cost efficient than a small person not having an idea of how it works. So the costs, you really need to see them, okay, how much do I pay for the service? And how much do I save because I have a service rather than doing it myself? And this includes shipments from A to B. I have other shipment prices if I ship 100 products a month rather than if I ship 100,000 products a month. Flexibility, it's also important. Let's say we have a very seasonal product. Let's say we have a product which is, I don't know, cosmetic for sun protection, which is maybe more needed during summertime than during wintertime. That means also that I have more to do in summer or somewhere around the season than in winter. So what would that mean if I do my own fulfillment? Do I have then a smaller warehouse? Do I have less employees working in my warehouse? I mean, this is not very sustainable of acting like that. But if you have a service provider who can scale up and down with you, it's fine, because they have other customers also bringing and filling up their warehouses. Time efficiency, we don't need to talk about it. I mean, that makes perfectly sense. But as I said, there's not just advantages, there are also challenges. And one of them is also, of course, your success depends on the partner. If the partner has a problem and they don't get your product out, maybe they lose your product, maybe they don't ship right, I don't know what, there are a lot of things which can happen. But that's okay, because they also happen if you do it yourself. You just need to be aware of it, that there is a specific dependency. Onboarding and setup costs, yes, they are there. We first need to find the right partner. We need to get the products there. Shipping in bulk, it will cost money. And those money will get less if we go into variable costs. Limited competency growth, of course. If we have a partner who has the expertise of these things, yes, we also learn, because we know, okay, how can we work with them? How do I bring stuff there? How can I get better in that? But if we have, for example, a fulfillment partner, we won't be the next fulfillment expertise or expert, because somebody else is doing it for us. And on the right-hand side, I just added a few questions which you should keep in mind when onboarding or when talking to a fulfillment provider. For example, what is the portfolio size that you have? And what's the estimated turnover? So how many orders will you probably around have? Inbound options, parcels, pallets. So how do I get my product from there to there? Inbound source, also important. If I have, for example, my production in Italy, it's easier to bring my products directly from the production center to a fulfillment partner in Germany, for example. Or if I have my production in, let's say, India, it's more effort. We need to first get it cross borders EU. And should I bring it then first to me, or should I bring it directly to the fulfillment partner? Is the fulfillment partner experienced with that? Have they done that before? And it's fine, ask them those questions. Specific handling required. Let's say we have maybe inventory, like home decor. Let's take a glass vase. Oh God, what's the English word for that? It's gone. The thing where you put flowers in. This thing is made of glass, so it needs a special handling. Maybe we should wrap it with a bubble foil. Maybe we should make sure that if somebody drops it, that it's not breaking. If I have a pair of socks, that's different. If I have an expensive trouser, which has a very nice smooth material, yes, of course, when I have a return, I want to check, is the material still as it was? How's the packaging of the pair of socks? Is the foil maybe ripped? Should I package it somewhere new? And integrators, APIs, that's on the technical side again. How can I communicate from my product, for example, from my inventory systems, from my billing system, etc.? How is the communication between the fulfillment partner and my systems? Is the system I'm using maybe also the fulfillment partner? And these are questions that we need to answer. On the customer support, I said I won't go too deep into customer support, but things need to be clarified. There are different KPIs per marketplace. So for example, A marketplace can tell you like, hey, if there is a question from the partner or from the customer, you need to answer them in 24 hours. And it doesn't matter if it's Saturday or Sunday, please make sure that you get this thing solved. There are other marketplaces which are a bit more relaxed, which give you maybe 48 hours. But you need to make sure, okay, understanding when there is a marketplace, what are they expecting from me as a seller? And can I get this running? Because a negative KPI is always meaning negative performance, and marketplaces don't like sellers with a negative performance, and that means negative ranking. Also, the allowance of the marketplace, it's important. If the customer buys directly at your store, then you have a lot of information. You have customer data, and you can also use this customer data. You can send the customer, I don't know, a little present for their birthday. You could send them a follow-up email saying like, hey, how did you like, by the way, the last pair of socks? Do you need another one 4 months later? You don't do this with marketplaces. Marketplaces are very strict, and they also understand how do I put this now smart, but they understand how expensive customer data is. And they don't want the Amazon customer, the Otto customer, the Zalando customer. They don't want that the customer is leaving their platform to purchase directly at the web store of the brand. So, and this is important, don't move the partner or don't move the customer from the marketplace to your own web store. You can do it smartly. There are some ways of also building like your brand with a marketplace. And if you have a strong brand, customers will not search for socks anymore on Amazon, but they will search for friends maybe and purchase them directly on the web store. But don't tell the customer who bought at Amazon, like, hey, dear customer, this was amazing. I give you a voucher for 20% next time you buy something at my web store. This is not going in a good way, and this will lead to like marketplaces closing doors for you. So please be aware of that. That's what I also mean with this follow-up options here. However, brand representation is very, very greatly done at marketplaces. You can present your brand there. You can tell about your USPs, why you're great, and different marketplaces offer different opportunities. Zalando does great things with their brand store. About You gives you great opportunities of having influencer marketing. Amazon is focusing extremely on direct brands at the moment and is pushing them up by giving them additional tools. Internal resources, of course, you need to make sure who is taking care of that. Who is there on a Saturday, on a Sunday, or also on a Tuesday and answering the questions of your customer? Hey, I would like to know if I can return this package. Hey, I want to understand where is my package, and so on. There are questions that you can decrease because you have, for example, fulfillment also from the marketplace directly. So if you take Zalando, Amazon, they have marketplace fulfillment. You bring them their product, you bring them your product, and they sell on behalf. Then they also do customer support on your behalf. But they can just do it limited. They can answer questions like, hey, where's my package? Because they have the shipping information. But they cannot answer questions like, could you explain me or could you tell me if the sock is feeling very comfortable on my ankle? How should I know? That's what we do as a seller, as a brand. Support optimization, yes, there are great tools. There's a lot of optimization. There's a lot of good opportunities, and you can also build them, but not just on the technical side. You can also understand from the customer requests that you get on how can I prevent them in the future. If customers always ask you like, hey, how does the material feel on my feet or on my ankle? Well, then tell them that. Put this information on the product detail page so that you limit again. People won't ask anymore if they can read it. Of course, sometimes they don't read, that's fine, but then it's less people. If you remember this slide here, let's say, like I said, there's a lot. So what can I choose? Where can I go? Which one should I start with? And if we combine this with the information that we got, of the questions that I just told you, you should really ask yourself, then there are different options. So if I take friends, for example, what I would do, I would pick a few marketplaces, like, for example, About You, Zalando, because that's fashion. We have fashion, fashion should go there. I would also pick Amazon because that's where a big target group is. Also on the focus of sustainability, there's a lot done on sustainability. You have dedicated sustainability flags where people can search for. When you get things solved for those big three, you can easily also onboard on Otto and real.de. And on this list here, due to the with an eye on time, I won't go too much into detail, but there are different things that you can do on the marketplace. So let's take, for example, About You and Zalando. Here, I can I need to apply for brand allowance because those are closed marketplaces. Same goes for Otto. Then on all marketplaces, I need to understand their marketplace style guides. I put a little plus behind the Zalando one because Zalando is very strict. They have like very detailed understanding of how you should bring your title, your product pictures, your model pictures, your style pictures, etc. Other marketplaces like Amazon, for example, yes, they also have a style guide, but here you need to focus on other things. You need to focus on Amazon SEO. How do I make sure what are the right keywords? How do I place these keywords? And very important, this is an experienced marketplace. So here you need to be more experienced to be successful than with a new marketplace like Otto, for example, or not like a new, but with a less developed, let's put it like that. When choosing marketplaces, they also offer you a high number of countries you can go with them. So about you, they are operating across 24 countries. Zalando, 17. Amazon, they have officially 8 marketplaces, but customers can purchase there worldwide. And I mean, that's the best thing to scale. If I have my own web store, I know it's important to also have it in different languages maybe, but do I want to have my web store also for other locals and then ship my products myself to all these different countries, offering customer support in the local language? To be honest, my language skills stops after two languages, so I could not do that, and I also would not be interested in doing that. But a marketplace is easily helping you to scale by just opening up new target groups. Why should we just focus on Amazon.de? How about France? How about Sweden just launched a couple of months ago? Poland launched this week. And the marketplaces are helping you to bring your products to their locals because they have the interest. They want to have a wide selection. They want to have a wide portfolio because that's how customers come to a marketplace. They want to go to Zalando and they want to find the products there. They want to discover, etc. If I just have a small selection, nobody will come back. As I said, fulfillment is there on About You. Fulfillment is about to launch. So that's a great service for Zalando and Amazon. You have it available. So here you have the expertise already you can use from. On About You, the branding potential is incredible. Same goes also for Zalando. You have a lot of opportunities to tell the customers, tell your potential customers as well, hey, why is my brand great? Why is it wonderful that you buy your underwear from France? And there are different areas across the storyline. So for example, if we take Otto in this case, this is a DE companies only. So you need to have a service provider because you need to have a company identity, which is German. You need to have German .NUMBER number as well. But as I said, it's not a problem because you can use the service provider services that I showed you earlier because they sell on your behalf. They are then the official company working with the marketplace Otto, and they are German. So problem solved. Same with real.de. Here we need to have German customer support. Same link, service provider. We need to have somebody who's taking care of that. One thing that I want to really highlight here, with the second bullet point of Otto, you can see incremental target group. Yes, that's the case. There are people who go to Otto because they buy things, and it's very often the case that those are the people who are not on Amazon and Zalando and About You. It's a complete different target group. You kind of, if you go back to the offline example, let's say we have a little street, and in the street we have, we have a little village, and in the village we have various streets. If we would have an offline store, we can open one office or one store. Of course, if I have more stores, I can find more potential people because they walk on different streets. Same online. If we find some target group on Otto, great, take them. And there are other people who are not on Amazon, on Zalando. We should take them as well. Like I said earlier, there are different data points available. So I was checking yesterday for underwear, and I was checking, okay, how about sustainable underwear? Is that already established? Yes, there are brands which also focusing on the factor of sustainability, but it's not as strong yet. So you have the great opportunity to push this here. And you can also see, okay, how much products are sold already in one of the categories. I'm not sure if you heard of those guys from Snox. They are a very good example of how to do direct brands, how to focus on one specific product. They have underwear. I don't think it's sustainable, so you should definitely follow this line. But I can see with tools, okay, of those products that you see right now, they sold in, I think there was a 90-day span, 2,300 products. And this is giving you an estimate. If they can sell 2,300, does it mean I want to take something of their cake? Can I see if there are more customers? And you can go into the different products, into the different keywords to understand how the development is. So use this data. Use the data to understand, okay, is there still potential? Is it saturated, or can I still position myself in the market? And on the topic of different marketplaces, how the situation is, I mean, you can spend hours. We could talk now, I don't know, 24 hours. We could do a marathon on that. But in the end, it's always put on the customer view. Go as a customer, go on the marketplaces, check what is there already. How are the offerings that other do? And if you have the opportunity of putting data behind it, great, use it, because no decision is better than a data-driven one. Also bring in another example of cosmetics, for example. If we have the version that you saw earlier, sorry. So if we take this one, this is on fashion, is on underwear, but the world can look different if we, for example, with cosmetics. As I said earlier, Douglas is one of the EU leading beauty marketplaces. They're growing intensively. And also they are across different countries, 21 in their case. And they give you different options as well. And maybe they're a bit more expensive on the marketing opportunities, but that's the perfect target group. However, I would not stop there. I would still also go with Amazon, because as I said, it's the everything store. Everything is there. And if you, for example, let's take the cosmetic of something very, you have a very specific USP. Great, you have a direct brand, you can push this USP. Tell the people your story. Tell the people why they should purchase your cosmetic product, not the one of your competitor. And also added here Otto as an example. They are going into lifestyle. So yes, we have a complete different target group, as I said. Why should we stop on them? And as said earlier as well, here you still have the early bird option. Maybe it's not there yet, but you could be the first one. And if you're the first one, you can build your ranking, you can build your position. And everybody coming after you either positions next to you or takes a part of your portion, but then you learned a lot already. As said already, direct branding, there is a lot of things you can do. And we cannot go in detail in this webinar as much that you could be the next expert on that. But there are different partners. And I mentioned earlier, I'm working closely with e-com as well as direct brands. You can also find a lot of information on those pages. Scroll around, see what they offer you, read a bit. And if you want to have an expert on board, do that. I mean, everybody does that. If you want to get a professional piano player, what do we get? We get somebody showing us how to play the piano. And the same as with e-commerce. And very important, and that's the same with the piano, it's not that you start from page 1 and then you learn everything. No, it's about understanding at which page am I already? Can I already play a few melodies, or can I read some notes already? And this is the same with e-commerce and with marketplaces. Understand what you can already, understand what you can solve yourself, and understand where do I need help. And help could come from experts, it can come from consultants, but it can also come from a lot of blogs. There's so much information out there. Read through it, understand what other people are doing, and get help where you need it. I also want to bring you this slide. It's one of my, actually it's a friend of mine. Her name is Valerie. I want to place also a picture of her. That did not work. But she founded the Marketplace University, or Marketplace Uni. And what she's doing, she's offering a 3-month training where you learn all the things that I just said, like very, very top level in detail. So you go on a journey for 3 months where she explains you with different experts, with different external experts as well, how to get from A to B, how to get from I have a product to sell a product, and all the different things that we just slightly talked about, like how do we do logistics, how do we do customer support, how do we use fulfillment, how do we do middlewareing, and I mean thousands of things we could mention now. Excuse me. So she's focusing right now on fashion, sports, shoes, and accessories. I know that we also have different categories right now here, but I want to play fair. That's maybe not the best match. She also offered a special one-on-one session. So this program goes for 3 months. I think the price is 6,900 per person. And if you add this code here of MP UniLove, then you would get an additional free one-on-one session with her as an expert. Not too much commercial here, but just mentioning because I think it's the good thing to get into the topic in a rather short time period. And with this one, as I said earlier, branding and marketing is the next bigger topic, because you can have the best product, You can bring the best product to the right marketplaces, but that's not where it stops. It's more where it starts. How do we make sure that we bring our branding also to this marketplace? And how do we make sure that we get visibility from the target group who's at the marketplace marketing? Which things can we do? And there are thousands of things that we can do. And I'm really looking forward to hopefully see you all again next week here as well, to dive deeper on these different opportunities. How can I get this visibility and which tools can I use? And I think I ran a little bit over time, but I hope that we can still manage. And I stopped with, yeah, that was the last slide, because I would love to hear also now the success story of LOOV.
Yes, thank you very much, Mareike, for this very interesting insights and information, lots of information, of course. Why should it be easy when it's rather complicated, of course, but also very exciting matter. I think we have also some questions, but we can come back to them earlier. Later, when we have heard the best practice story from LOOV. Just one question from me to your presentation right now. Can you say where can you find this interesting data about marketplaces? Because when I go to Amazon, I don't find it. Do you have to register as a trader already, and then you get this data, or how do I get this information?
Yes, very good question.
Statistics. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so for Amazon, which is the most data transparent one and the most one giving also the data out, there are tools. So one tool is Analyze, and the other tool is called Helium-10. There are many more, but those are the ones that I work closely with and that I use on a daily level, which I love, to be honest. They have free options. So they have Google Chrome add-ons, for example, where you can already see like this little box of how many items are sold in a specific time period. And they also have like a paid version. So you pay, I don't know, I couldn't know the value per month, but that's easily find out. And then you get access to the tool. And in the tool, you can go crazy on searching for keywords, searching for competition, and so on and so on. We can add the links to these tools in the follow-up email when we also share the presentation. Yeah,
that would be great. I think it's interesting for many companies. And yes, and these service providers who can help to get access to Otto, for example. Can we put the links then into the presentation afterwards too? I think there was already one question about that, service providers too. Okay, that's great. Let's go on with LOOV Organic. Liis, please take over.
Hello, everyone. Do you hear me? Yes. Now Leana left. I hope that everybody hear me. I'm Liis Kalvik from LOOV Organic, and I will also have a presentation to share. So I will share the screen. Okay, here we go. So LOOV Organic, actually, we are already 12 years in organic industry. We started with loodusvägi, probably Estonian people know about it. But at the end of 2019, we somehow like split. So this loodusvägi is now handled by another Estonian company. This brand was sold, and now we are with LOOV brand on export markets only. And we are #1 Nordic dairy product seller in Amazon. We are selling in worldwide different Amazons and also in German Amazon. And the main story and the main product portfolio that we have, it's hand-picked wild berries from the forest. That for us, it's so natural to go nice summer evening or summer day to the forest just 100 kilometers from Tallinn, or like even less, 1 hour drive, and you can really go there and pick them. But for the urban cities and these urban people, this is something very unique and special. So this this Estonian wilderness we want to bring to the wild world and to export markets. And we freeze dry the berries, and then this way we get the best value of the berries. So all the antioxidants and vitamins are well preserved. Then by today we are exporting more than to 25 countries worldwide, and among of them is also German market, of course. And I checked out last year our German market turnover was around 15-20% of our total turnover. And to like show you better how this Estonian wilderness presentation goes, and how usually when I show this video clip to my during the fairs or to some meetings with some export partners, then they're really amazed that from where we get our berries. Please show us the fields where you pick them, and then we show this nice video.
Is there any audio, or is it without?
Oh, sorry, it has audio, but you don't hear it?
No.
Oh, it's a shame.
No. But we can read the text.
Yes, sorry. It's 1 minute, so it's not too long. So yes, so I just want to encourage all the Estonian companies to really show and sell this Estonian nature. This is something very unique that we have here. And our message is that people can get their daily antioxidants really from the nature, from the wild blueberries, for example, for instance. So, and when we talk about the German market and where we sell LOOV superfoods there, the number one is Amazon. And here you can also see in the corner the layout of our webpage there in Amazon. We started there in 2017 in Amazon. And yes, we still are growing. And of course, this COVID-19 has especially shown good results to us. And from this Amazon good show out for us, we see that also B2B customers are looking around in Amazon to see what kind of brands there are available. And from there, we have also got another contacts, another online stores who sell our products. For instance, this Koppverlag, Tanosi, Oliseto, these are small ones still. But this Koppverlag is interesting company. They actually sell books, and this kind of esoteric books and medical medium books. So medical medium is really a big fan of wild berries and especially wild blueberry, for instance. And then Koppverlag company by themselves found us in Amazon and contacted us directly. And now they are selling, it's like this old fashioned way. They are having these catalogs. They're sending to, I don't know, 250,000 pieces each month. They are sending to their customers, and people are really, they have also online store, but main business is going on with catalog sales still. But this is also something that grow out from the Amazon, let's say. And why we are why we have chosen Amazon, of course, as Mareke already showed, that food is not sold in Germany, not so many other online these marketplaces. So that's why this Amazon is the number one for us, and we have chosen this. And as this target group is really also fitting for the Amazon, because new trends, the women in the age 25-45 are looking new trends from the internet, and this COVID-19 has pushed all the people for the online shopping. So that's why this is the very important and right place where to be for this kind of product portfolio as we have for LOOV. We have 25 SKUs in Amazon D right now available. And what experiences and lessons learned, of course, Marika told very specifically about it, but I just want to highlight a few things regarding Amazon. You have to be 110% full-time dedicated if you want to do it by yourself. Of course, we do the fulfillment by Amazon, but all other things, most of the things we are doing by ourselves from Estonia. Now, for some things, for this kind of, when sales are closed down for some product, then we have some partnering companies who are specialized, like opening the products. So this kind of services we are using. But mostly we are doing all the things from Estonian headquarters, let's say. We suggest to use coaching, especially in the beginning for starting your business in Amazon, because it is a lot of different things you need to know. And why not to learn from the people who really, from the companies who really have already gone this through, this starting in the beginning. And of course, in Amazon, you need to be visually attractive, but you have to follow all the rules that they have implemented regarding the photos, the texts, and about the taxes and all these things. So there's enough complications, but still it's all doable and it's all possible to manage to grow yourself if you're to grow your business if you're really dedicated and you really want to do it. And we see also that this Amazon good visibility and being #1 in Nordic Berry section, we see also that it has grown also B2B sales and this well-established brand and good sales in category have also really, I get daily contacts who have seen our products in Amazon and now want to go further with B2B sales. And from there also comes this one problem that we faced very strongly during the COVID-19 starting last year in springtime in UK. Our products are also available from the wholesalers, and now the other companies started to sell our products in Amazon. And this is the thing that we don't want, that others are selling our products there. And of course, Amazon has solutions for that, but still now after that, we are really selecting very carefully to whom we are selling our low branded goods, and we are setting already in the beginning the limitations that they can't sell our products in Amazon, for instance. And also for German market, as for all the other markets, prepare all the professional documentations for the products, all the specifications, COAs. And this goes more like B2B customers. And I would say that the German clients, if I'm like not saying about Amazon, but maybe also it works for that, just be quick and open and problem-solving communication. If you have this, I would say that the German market is really easy to access. And this cultural background, it's somehow like similar to Estonians. We understand them much better compared to for Asian people and Asian business culture, for instance. From my side, I would say that that was it. If there's any questions, yeah, I'm open to answer them.
I would have a question for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Because I was reading through the chat and I also saw the question like, hey, how do you handle, like, how do you build trust within the marketplace? Because we have a product which is maybe not from the country itself where the customer is sitting. And I want to take this question to you as well, because I saw your product and I was like, safe, I would buy this because it looks very great to me and it gives me the USPs that I want to have for a product. So it needs to be fresh and good quality and healthy. So how was that for you? How did you build this trust with the customers, even though you're from a different country?
I would say that this Nordic story that we have put all the marketing on, that has sold well, and this we are really openly showing where the berry is coming, and that we're coming really from Nordic, and that we're clean and pure as the nature is here. So yeah, that has been basically there's no secrets behind. If you see our Amazon this site, and that's it. I would say that, of course, there's a lot of work how to show this and how to have this premium quality look and everything. But I think that this Nordic story has worked very well for us.
Nice. And I think the different marketplaces also give great opportunities to present the story. Because I saw that you had the brand store already, where you had like the different visualization, there are video options, etc. So is it the region, is it the USP? And different marketplaces have different opportunities, but there are always ways to tell the story. And I think a product with a story is always the best product that you can offer.
Mm. And if you have already like prepared some material for one marketplace, of course you need some adaptations, but still you can use the basis you have already made for the first marketplace, and from there it's easier to switch to the next one, I think.
So I have a question too to you, Liis. I guess you have German speaking. Do you have a native German speaker in your team, or how do you manage it? Customer inquiries or questions?
Of course, for all the texts in marketplaces and these places, our native speakers have been checking it out, and we have in our office also a native German speaker, but she's not, her responsibility is not, for instance, answering the questions for the customers. I think I'm not in the Amazon team. I'm B2B business, B2B export team. So, but I think they will answer in English to them. I'm not sure. I can check it out. But yes.
Yes, I think it's possible to use English
in Amazon.
It's not a problem, but I guess Mareike, maybe you can answer it. Is it better to answer in English or German?
So officially you can do English, but we all know it ourselves. If we have a question, it would be great to get feedback in the same language. And if we have German customers, to be honest, they are not as, let's say, used to English as we would wish. Of course, the younger people are more in there. But if I think about my parents, my auntie, my grandparents, and so on, the level of English is lacking and people don't feel comfortable. And I think this customer experience has a lot to do with how comfortable am I as a customer. So as soon as I am going away from their comfortable language, I go out of their comfort zone. And I think, yes, of course, it's great if you have somebody in your company speaking the language, but what you could also do is double check, okay, how can I solve it? So what can I already get managed about the marketplace itself? So I'm not sure, Liz, if you do FBA, then they're already reducing the customer support as well. But, and also on content side, if you have content, I think you have a lot of freelancers from everywhere, or people working or studying in the local. I can assume there are a lot of German people at the university as well. Great opportunity. So I think, yes, you do not need to have a team of like 20 people from day one and having like all the languages in there. But I think there are easy ways to enhance content by having a native speaker reading through it, optimizing on it.
For these marketing texts, we are using those freelancers to translate all the materials. But I think, yes, everyday basis, as you need to be 24/7 available for the customers, we answer in English, but I can check it out for people who need to know about it.
So we have one more question for Liis. Who made the marketing portfolio for you?
It's made in-house, so it's our marketing team who has made this.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I think it's a lot of homework to do. We've seen, Mareike, there came many questions. There are very different products. Every product is somehow different, and you need the unique approach for each product at the end of the time. You have to take the time to check out the competitors, to check out the prices, to check out how do they sell there, You can't. There is no one recipe for all that fits for all. So it's very important to do this homework, and you need also time. You can't expect a quick success unless you outsource it maybe to the service providers totally. But normally, I think it's even more better to go on it calmly, to take one step by another, and to search for help where you cannot come on. And it's a journey, and it's a new market. You need time for that, and you need also resources. That's the truth, I think.
100% with you on this one, and the journey never stops. Things are always changing, and even though I see it, listen, I mean, things that are true today don't need to be true tomorrow anymore. Marketplaces are changing in a tremendously quick manner that you sometimes your head is spinning because like, whoa, what's going on there? But this is also, we should see this as an opportunity. I think that's what makes it fun also working in such a segment, because you never stop learning. You always hear about new great things, you meet amazing people out there, and you connect with those people, you talk with them, you hear new insights, and this is how everything is moving forward. And of course, everybody wants to be part of this moving forward step, but we also make sure, okay, what is the right speed for me? Is the right speed for me to start with, I don't know, 100 of marketplaces, or let's say 10 of marketplaces? Or should I pick one, pick two, pick three, and then really go step by step? Take your time also to learn, and also take yourself the privilege of getting help from the internet, from different sources, or from people as well, to be guided on this journey. And I think as long as you're open-minded for it, and you will probably also have situations where you put your head on your table, like, damn it, why are things like that? Believe me, I have them as well. Sometimes I wonder, okay, what are they doing there at Amazon? And even though I've worked there for a couple of years, I know what they're doing there. But that's how it is. It's a big business. We work with big business partners, and they have their own challenges as well. Everybody works on behalf of the customer, and sometimes the customer has other thoughts than we have, and that's okay. Don't worry about too much. Be customer-centric, push forward, and then I think there's a great story that you can write.
That's true. We have one more question for Liis. To all others too, please use now the time to ask your questions you want to ask. That's your chance. For Liis, you are pressing on the word Nordic. Why not Estonia?
Nordic is better understood for the worldwide clients, and our berries, some of them are also coming from Nordic, from Finland, from Sweden. So that's why it's very accurate to tell that it's Nordic. And yeah, that's the reason.
You just have to check out what works. You can combine them, both of them.
Yes, of course. We never say, like, somehow hide that we are from Estonia. We're very proud of it. But yeah, the main message is this Nordic, and from there we can go more detailed about this, that it's also Estonian company that we are coming from.
There is also a question about VAT issue. Cross-border VAT issues are challenging. We use the Amazon recommended Avalara, yet VAT and accounting are often challenging. Does LOOV do all accounting in-house?
As I mentioned before, I'm not this Amazon team member in our company. I'm B2B export. I know that we have Estonian accounting company. I know that this VAT problems, there's a lot of VAT problems regarding Amazon. So if who wants to know more detailed about it, maybe I can get the answer to them and reply them directly. I know that there's complications, but we have also, of course, in Estonia the accounting but there's used also locally this kind of partners, VAT partners in different countries.
Okay, I see. One more question. Are your products in German for German market? I think
yes, we have multilingual. We have multilingual package. The front page is in English, and at the back you can read also other. Besides German, you have also other texts in Italian, Spanish, French. All the markets that we are also selling in Amazon.
Maybe Mareike can say something about that. What are the requirements for the packaging? Are they same as for the retail stores?
So on the language itself, Amazon is referring at least English. If you can add German or like local language on it, that's great. But, and this is now important, it's not just the marketplace rule, because there are official guidelines. So for example, if I sell cosmetics or if I sell food, there is like a legal law saying, okay, what needs to be on there, like the ingredients, how long can I use it? And they also say, and that's different. So for example, if I sell electronic, they also have some things that I need to have there, but these are completely different things than for example, for food. And this is super important to make sure that you understand your product, because even though you sell the product via a marketplace, we as a brand owner, or we as the official seller, we are still responsible for it. So even saying, okay, if Amazon says like, hey, it's okay, you do it in English, fine, go for that. But if, for example, there's a certification missing, or there's a kind of piece of information missing, then we as a brand are the one taking the consequences. So really dive in. And also here, a good example, or a good, let's say, little trick. If you want to see, okay, how are other people doing it in my section, just order some products from your competition and play fair. There are a lot of people who see competition as competition. I think you can do a lot also by working together with your competition. Talk with them. See, okay, how are you guys doing that? What were your learnings? And I have always the impression, and maybe it's not 100% the case, but people are super open-minded, because it's not about copying anymore, because it's not hard. It's hard to copy if you have a brand. Yes, of course we see all that varies, but I mean, it's the USP behind it. Okay, what is the story that we sell? And I think this is something that nobody can copy, and you need to build the identity for your products. And if you have the identity, I mean, great, share your experience.
Yes, we will speak about branding next week too, how important it is, and how to do that. We'll have another expert about this issue too. Yes, but what I wanted to say, we as export advisors can provide this information too. What are the requirements for packaging? What are the requirements if you want to sell your products in Germany? That's why we are here in Germany for you, for Estonian companies. So feel free to contact me or my colleagues with your questions later on too. We have one more question about other product group. Looking at the different marketplaces, is there a great marketplace you know or would recommend for building materials?
Are we talking about content creation, or are we talking about the product itself? I'm not sure if I get the information. If it's on content creation, there are different things. So yes, there are, for example, service providers who help you building content itself. And there we are again with the brand identity. It doesn't help if you take any service provider. You first of all need to find the solution key. What is the brand that I am? And take a piece of paper, take a pen, and answer simple questions like, what do I stand for? What do I do not stand for? How do I communicate to my customer? And so on and so on. And if you have like this set of like building a personality or building the personality norms and values, then you could also talk with service providers about, hey, could you help me visualizing this? And it does not have to be a German company. I'm working a lot with freelancers, for example, and then putting out like, hey, I need that. This is the description. Who can help me with this one? On the marketplace itself, like I said, there are some marketplaces which are more experienced already. So if you take Amazon, and I saw that Liz was sharing it earlier in a presentation as well, you have, for example, the brand stores. And in the brand stores, Amazon gives you like a clear guidance of modules that you can use to present your brand. Of course, you're still the one filling the modules with live, by adding a text, by adding a video, or by adding a picture, but it gives you the guidelines. So you don't have to be good in writing codes or something, as if you would do like with your own website. Then if you take Zalando or About You, they have huge marketing service teams. So there are people and they tell you like, hey, you need a budget of X euro. And the budget is very, very different. Sometimes it starts at like 10,000 euro, and sometimes they also have smaller budgets. And then they tell you like, hey, okay, these are the things that we can do, inclusive content creation. But, and this is super important, even it doesn't matter if it's a marketplace or if it's a freelancer, to make sure that people can do this right on behalf of you, you really need to understand, okay, what are like this main story, what are the USPs that you want to sell? I hope this is answering the question somehow.
I think the question was maybe a little bit more about that. Is there any marketplace? If you say there is a marketplace for fashion, there are marketplaces for everything, and there are marketplaces for maybe for cosmetics, but are there also marketplaces for building materials, specific marketplaces for building materials?
Ah, like construction work.
We are coming
Yes.
from Nordic. We have a lot of wood here.
Ah.
For instance, I don't know.
Now I see where we're going to. Sorry that my answer was completely in the wrong direction, but good that I kept the monologue on that. Yes, they are, but they're in construction. Funny word game. So for example, we know that marketplaces like where we would go to buy products like that as well, like OB and stuff like this, that they are in the way, but they're not there yet. So I would need to go a little bit through material to give a clear answer on this one. I couldn't tell you one specific one.
Hornbach?
If we are more about Hornbach, yes. If we're talking more about the do-it-yourself section, so let's take the example of the wood. I don't know, like the do-it-yourself products. I don't know, accessories, decoration, etc. Then also marketplaces like Pinterest and social commerce are super interesting here as well, because that's where people also discover such products. And I mean, Pinterest has their own shop now, and Pinterest can be good for some products, like really, really good, especially if you have some individualization on it or some customization on it. Maybe they're not as good for food yet, for example, or for fashion. But I'm not sure about numbers on Hornbach and how they are right now. We would need to do a little follow-up on this one.
But do-it-yourself could be also an option. There are do-it-yourself marketplaces where you can position you as a brand and offer it, make some examples. How can you use these products, and then sell them there? Maybe true.
Yes, true, like that. I mean, with Pinterest, there is the target group. So people on Pinterest, they are a lot of doing it yourself, like the act of doing it yourself, like drawing something or building something out of material, like out of wood, for example. But those people, they also purchase things that other people build for them. So it's more like also the storyline of I did it for you, like more as a going already into art directly maybe. But I think what is also important, like this customization. So let's say you have something and you can put a name on the one that you want to have. So for example, I would like to have something made of wood and I would love to have my name Marika on it. And also the big marketplaces, they follow this trend of customization. And this goes in all directions. It could be fashion, it could be products in decor. I mean, loads of things, even food. Maybe I would like to have a nice branding on my food package. I think, I'm not sure if you know, Nutella, Kinderschokolade, they all go crazy on this one.
What do you mean exactly with customization?
So if we take the Kinderschokolade, for example, like the chocolate bar, you have like on the packaging, it says for Mareike or for Lisa. So you can put your name on the packaging.
Nutella, yeah. Nutella, I know it.
Nutella did it as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. And there's a lot of things like this going on there. And that's important also, those big players like an Amazon, they follow this trends as well. So they give the opportunity of customization, where you can say, okay, I sell a t-shirt there and I want to have a print on my t-shirt, then I can put in the name that I want to have printed. And you can see this development in the different areas. So it's not just only see, okay, do we have dedicated marketplaces for construction, but what is really this construction that I'm selling? Are we talking something made of wood? Are we talking about do it yourself? I don't know. And then we check again, okay, are those marketplaces that are more famous, where we have a lot of target already on, a lot of potential, are they following this trend already? And then you can also see, and sometimes I would say there are also marketplaces which are maybe not as specific yet. Maybe there is not the specific marketplace on construction, like, I don't know, something really construction, but I wouldn't be aware of building a roof or so. But then you can also check again, okay, how can I use social commerce then maybe more on bringing customers to my web stores? And social commerce, I mean, that doesn't only mean Facebook and Instagram. There are a lot of things where people are around today. I mean, everybody's on their phone nonstop. This is like, I mean, back in the days, we paid so much money to get like a big banner somewhere in the city. And right now, I mean, we can put this banner on the phone with a few cents. And this is like crazy. And that's why I also think that social commerce is a lot of things going on there. I know that in e-com consulting, we do a lot on social commerce. And this is, I mean, a second big trend.
Yes, this was an important issue too. Maybe will we talk about it next week too? Social commerce.
I will add a few slides on this, and we'll also leave a few words on that. But we cannot fill the complete hour with that, because then we would lose all the other topics.
Yes, of course. Okay, I see. Yeah, lots of stuff to think about and to consider. But I think you just have to start, and one step by another, as I said. The time is almost over now, and there are no new questions in the chat. I think we can close our session for today, and we will continue next week with online marketing and these other themes that you have. Maybe you can say some words as for the next week, as at the end now. What can we expect next week?
Like a little teaser.
Yes,
more than welcome. So the main question that we want to answer in next week is not only what is the right market to bring my product, but it's more on the how can I get my product there. And please use this week, use the upcoming days, go a little bit online, play the customer game of, okay, I want to search for my product. And then really keep your eyes open on how brands or how products try to grab your attention. And this grabbing of attention, this is like the most thing that we will cover on next week, because you can, as I said, you can have the best product, you can have the best story, but if nobody sees or hears your story, we won't sell anything. And this is the answer that we want to give the next week on what tools are offered on the marketplaces to get like this visual attention.
Okay, that's a good advice. That's a good idea. So I would like to close for today. Big thanks to our both experts, to Liis. It was very interesting to hear from the Estonian perspective. How can you do it? What are the experience with that? And of course, many thanks to Mareike for this great overview and these insights. There is a lot of stuff to think about it, and I would like to give you also this advice from me, or I can offer you just the opportunity if you need information about the German market or have specific questions, you need help somewhere, you can ask me too. I'm there for you, provide you with relevant information about requirements, if it is about packaging or something else. So you can contact me. I have somewhere my contact. I share the screen. You can see my contact data. You can write me directly. So, one moment. I hope you can see it now. Can you see my slide?
Yes.
Yes. That's not. We'll go to the slide. This one. So you can see my contact details, but we can send them with a follow-up too per mail. And you find it also on our webpage of Enterprise Estonia. So thank you to you all for this session, for participating, asking the questions. I hope to see you next week and again. And have a nice week, have a nice time. Bye-bye.